Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound truth lies at the heart of what it means to cultivate an assertive Stoic mindset. For those striving to elevate their existence and achieve elite performance, mastering the art of self-control, resilience, and focus isn't just a skill, it's a necessity. Today, we'll dive into the timeless principles of Stoicism, not as ancient philosophy, but as a practical toolkit for modern high achievers. How do you maintain unshakable focus in a world full of distractions? How do you turn setbacks into stepping stones without losing your composure? And most importantly, how do you harness your emotions to fuel your success rather than hinder it? These are the questions we'll explore, offering you actionable insights to transform your mindset and unlock your full potential. Whether you're leading a team, building a business, or simply aiming to live with greater purpose, this journey into Stoic wisdom will challenge you to reflect, grow, and rise above the noise. What separates the best from the rest in high-stakes environments? It's not just talent, resources, or even luck. It's the ability to stay calm, focused, and in control when everything else feels chaotic. This is where Stoicism steps in, offering a mental framework that elite performers have relied on for centuries. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control and let go of what isn't. As Epictetus famously said, some things are within our power while others are not. It's a simple idea, but one that carries immense power when applied to the pressures of modern life. Think about it: how often do we waste energy worrying about things we can't change? The weather, a competitor's actions, or even the opinions of others, Stoicism flips the script, redirecting our attention to the only thing we truly control: our own thoughts, decisions, and actions. This mindset isn't just philosophical, it's practical. Take someone like Tom Brady, for example. Widely regarded as one of the greatest athletes of all time, he's spoken openly about how Stoic principles helped him maintain focus and resilience, even in the face of crushing defeats or intense scrutiny. By focusing on his preparation, effort, and attitude, he's been able to consistently perform at the highest level regardless of the circumstances. So, what does this mean for you? Where in your life are you spending too much energy on things outside your control? Maybe it's a project at work that's hit a snag, or a personal goal that feels out of reach. The Stoic approach invites you to shift your focus inward, to your effort, your mindset, and your response to challenges. By doing so, you not only reduce unnecessary stress, but also unlock a level of clarity and determination that can propel you forward. The next time you're faced with a high-pressure situation, ask yourself, what's within my control right now, and how can I use that to move closer to my goals? True freedom comes from mastering your reactions. This is the essence of cognitive detachment, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy that empowers elite performers to stay composed, no matter how turbulent the circumstances. Cognitive detachment isn't about suppressing emotions or ignoring reality. Instead, it's about creating a mental space between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, put it this way: we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. In other words, it's not the event itself that causes distress, but our interpretation of it. By learning to detach from outcomes, you gain the ability to navigate challenges with clarity and purpose. Consider the story of Cotto the Younger, a Roman statesman and Stoic philosopher. During a time of political upheaval, Cotto faced relentless opposition and even threats to his life. Yet he remained steadfast, refusing to let fear or anger dictate his actions. When his enemies attempted to intimidate him, he famously replied, "I am not afraid of death, for I know it is inevitable." This wasn't just bravery, it was cognitive detachment in action. Cotto understood that his power lay not in controlling external events, but in mastering his own mind and emotions. His ability to remain calm and focused, even in the face of extreme adversity, is a testament to the strength this mindset can provide. So, how does this apply to your life? Think about a recent situation where you felt overwhelmed or reactive. Maybe it was a difficult conversation at work, a missed opportunity, or a personal setback. What if, in that moment, you had paused and asked yourself, what part of this is within my control? By practicing cognitive detachment, you can begin to shift your focus away from the uncontrollable and toward the actions and attitudes that truly matter. This approach doesn't just reduce stress, it empowers you to respond with intention and resilience, even when the stakes are high. The next time you find yourself caught up in the chaos of life, remember this: your greatest power lies in your ability to choose how you respond. By cultivating cognitive detachment, you're not just building resilience, you're reclaiming your freedom to act with clarity and purpose, no matter what life throws your way. Adversity is the forge where elite performers are shaped. It's in the heat of challenges, setbacks, and failures that true resilience is built. Stoicism doesn't just teach us to endure hardship, it encourages us to embrace it, to see it as an essential part of growth. This mindset is encapsulated in the concept of Amafati, or love of fate. Rather than resisting or resenting what happens to us, Amafati invites us to accept and even welcome every experience, good or bad, as a necessary step in our journey. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, put it this way: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, the obstacles we face aren't barriers to our success, they're the very tools we need to sharpen our skills, deepen our understanding, and strengthen our character. Think about it, every great achievement in history has been born out of struggle. From athletes overcoming career-threatening injuries to entrepreneurs bouncing back from bankruptcy, resilience isn't just about survival, it's about thriving in the face of adversity. Take the story of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Before building a billion-dollar company, she faced countless rejections and failures. Instead of letting those setbacks define her, she used them as fuel. Blakely has openly credited her ability to embrace challenges with a Stoic-like mindset, focusing not on what went wrong but on what she could learn and how she could improve. Her story is a modern-day example of Amafati in action, turning obstacles into opportunities and failures into stepping stones. What about you? Can you think of a moment in your life when a challenge, though painful at the time, ultimately made you stronger? Maybe it was a job loss that pushed you to pursue a new passion, or a personal struggle that deepened your empathy and resilience. The Stoic approach reminds us that adversity isn't something to fear or avoid, it's an opportunity to grow. By reframing challenges as necessary and even beneficial, we can cultivate a mindset that not only endures but thrives under pressure. So the next time you're faced with a difficult situation, ask yourself, how can this challenge serve me? What can I learn from it? And how can I use it to become stronger, wiser, and more capable? When you start to see obstacles as opportunities, you unlock a level of resilience that can carry you through even the toughest times. The present moment is where greatness is forged. In high-stakes moments, the ability to be fully present, completely immersed in the here and now is what separates elite performers from the rest. Stoicism teaches us that the past is gone and the future is uncertain. The only reality we truly possess is the present, and mastering it is where real power lies. As Epictetus once said, focus on what is in front of you and nothing else. This isn't just a philosophical idea, it's a practical strategy for peak performance. Think about the most critical moments in your life, whether it's a job interview, a championship game, or a pivotal conversation. What made the difference? Often, it's the ability to shut out distractions, quiet the noise of doubt or fear, and fully engage with the task at hand. This is the essence of presence. It's not about overthinking or trying to control every detail. It's about trusting your preparation and letting your instincts take over in the moment. Consider the story of Michael Jordan during the 1997 NBA Finals, often referred to as the flu game. Battling illness and exhaustion, Jordan didn't dwell on his physical state or the enormity of the moment. Instead, he focused entirely on the game, play by play, shot by shot. His ability to stay present under extreme pressure not only led to a legendary performance, but also cemented his legacy as one of the greatest athletes of all time. Jordan's mindset echoes the Stoic principle of focusing on what's within your control, your effort, your focus, and your response to the present moment. So, how can you apply this to your own life? Start small. The next time you're working on a task, challenge yourself to be fully present. Put away distractions, silence the inner chatter, and immerse yourself in what you're doing. Notice how it feels to give your undivided attention to the moment. Over time, this practice won't just improve your performance, it will transform how you experience life itself. Presence isn't just a skill, it's a way of being that allows you to tap into your full potential one moment at a time. Emotions are not the enemy, misusing them is. In the world of elite performance, emotions are often seen as obstacles to overcome, but Stoicism offers a different perspective. Instead of suppressing or ignoring what we feel, Stoicism teaches us to observe our emotions with clarity and respond to them with intention. This practice isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about developing the wisdom to navigate our feelings without letting them dictate our actions. As Seneca wisely noted, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. By creating space between our emotions and our reactions, we gain the power to choose how we respond rather than being swept away by impulse. Consider the example of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison before emerging as a global symbol of reconciliation and leadership. During his imprisonment, Mandela faced immense anger and frustration, emotions that could have easily consumed him. Yet he chose to channel those feelings into a vision of unity and forgiveness. His ability to manage his emotions, even in the face of profound injustice, allowed him to lead with grace and purpose. Mandela's story illustrates the transformative power of emotional control, not as a way to deny what we feel, but as a tool to harness those feelings for something greater. So, how can we apply this principle in our own lives? Think about an emotion you often struggle with: anger, anxiety, or even self-doubt. What if, instead of reacting immediately, you paused and asked yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Is it serving me or is it holding me back? By observing your emotions without judgment, you create the opportunity to respond with clarity rather than impulsivity. This shift doesn't just improve your decision-making, it empowers you to align your actions with your values, even in the most challenging moments. Stoicism reminds us that emotional control is not about perfection, it's about progress. Every time you choose to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, you strengthen your ability to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and purpose. The next time you feel overwhelmed by emotion, remember, it's not about eliminating what you feel, but about mastering how you respond. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It's the quiet, consistent effort that turns ambition into reality. And nowhere is this more evident than in the lives of elite performers. Stoicism places immense value on discipline, not as a form of punishment or restriction, but as a path to freedom from distraction, procrastination, and the chaos of an unfocused mind. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This strength, born of discipline, is what enables us to stay the course, even when the path is steep or the rewards seem distant. At its core, Stoic discipline is about cultivating daily habits and routines that align with our values and goals. It's not about grand, sweeping gestures, but the small, consistent actions we take every day. For example, consider Theodore Roosevelt, a man known for his relentless work ethic and disciplined approach to life. Despite facing significant health challenges as a child, Roosevelt committed himself to rigorous physical and mental training. He read voraciously, maintained a strict exercise regimen, and pursued his goals with unwavering determination. His disciplined habits didn't just shape his success, they defined his legacy as one of the most dynamic leaders in history. So, what does this mean for you? Take a moment to reflect on your own daily habits. Are they moving you closer to your goals, or are they holding you back? The Stoic approach invites you to identify one area where you can strengthen your discipline. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to meditate or exercise, setting aside dedicated time for deep work, or limiting distractions like social media. The key is to start small and stay consistent. Remember, discipline isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each small step you take builds the momentum needed to achieve extraordinary results. As you evaluate your habits, ask yourself, what's one change I can make today that will bring me closer to the person I want to become? By embracing Stoic discipline, you're not just working toward your goals, you're building the character and resilience needed to sustain success over the long term. This is the true power of discipline. It transforms not just what you achieve, but who you become in the process. Fear is a shadow, face it, and it disappears. This timeless truth lies at the heart of the Stoic approach to fear and anxiety. For elite performers, fear isn't something to avoid or suppress, it's an opportunity to grow stronger. Stoicism teaches us to confront our fears head-on, not with reckless bravado, but with deliberate preparation and clarity. One of the most powerful tools in the Stoic toolkit is Premeditatio Malorum, or the practice of anticipating challenges. By imagining the worst-case scenarios and mentally preparing for them, we strip fear of its power to paralyze us. As Seneca once said, "He who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive." Consider the story of Eleanor Roosevelt, one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. Early in her life, she struggled with crippling anxiety and self-doubt. Yet, through deliberate practice and a Stoic-like mindset, she learned to face her fears with courage and purpose. Roosevelt famously said, "Do one thing every day that scares you." This wasn't just a motivational quote, it was a philosophy she lived by. By consistently stepping outside her comfort zone, she transformed fear from a barrier into a catalyst for growth. Her journey is a powerful reminder that fear, when confronted, can become a source of strength rather than a limitation. So, how does this apply to you? Think about a fear that's been holding you back, whether it's public speaking, taking a risk in your career, or pursuing a personal goal. What if, instead of avoiding it, you prepared for it? Picture the worst-case scenario in vivid detail. What would happen? How would you respond? By mentally rehearsing these challenges, you take away their ability to surprise or overwhelm you. This practice doesn't just reduce anxiety, it builds confidence, equipping you to face whatever comes your way with resilience and poise. The next time fear creeps in, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? And how can I prepare for it? By embracing the Stoic practice of Premeditatio Malorum, you're not just managing fear, you're mastering it. This shift in mindset allows you to move forward with clarity and determination, turning fear from an obstacle into an opportunity for growth. Purpose is the compass that guides elite performers. It's the driving force behind every decision, every effort, and every moment of perseverance. For those who strive for greatness, a clear sense of purpose isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. Stoicism teaches us that aligning our actions with a higher purpose isn't just about achieving external success. It's about living a life of meaning and integrity. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully: when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This reminder to live with intention underscores the Stoic belief that purpose isn't something we find. It's something we create through our choices and actions. Take the example of Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel Prize laureate. Her unwavering commitment to education and equality, even in the face of extreme danger, stems from a deep sense of purpose. Malala didn't just survive a life-threatening attack, she used it as a catalyst to amplify her mission, demonstrating the power of purpose to transform adversity into impact. Her story is a modern-day reflection of Stoic values in action, staying true to what matters most, no matter the obstacles. So, what about you? What drives you to push through challenges, to rise early, to keep going when the path gets tough? Is it a personal goal, a cause you're passionate about, or a vision for the future you want to create? Purpose isn't always grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as wanting to provide for your family, excel in your craft, or make a difference in your community. The Stoic approach invites you to reflect on what truly matters to you and to let that guide your actions, even in the smallest moments. As you consider your own purpose, ask yourself, how do my daily choices align with what I value most? Am I moving closer to the life I want to live, or am I being pulled off course by distractions and short-term desires? By anchoring yourself in a clear sense of purpose, you not only find direction but also the resilience to stay the course, no matter what challenges arise. Purpose isn't just a destination, it's the journey itself, shaping who you become along the way. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. It's a simple idea, but one that carries profound weight, especially for those striving to excel in high-pressure environments. In the Stoic tradition, gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice, it's a cornerstone of mental clarity and resilience. By focusing on what we already possess rather than what we lack, we shift our perspective from scarcity to abundance. As Epictetus wisely noted, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This mindset isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding value and meaning in the present moment, even when circumstances are tough. Take the story of Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist who wrote Man's Search for Meaning. In the depths of unimaginable suffering, Frankl found solace in small moments of gratitude, a shared smile, a fleeting act of kindness, or even the beauty of a sunset. These moments didn't erase his pain, but they gave him the strength to endure and find purpose in the midst of despair. Frankl's experience is a powerful reminder that gratitude isn't dependent on external conditions. It's a choice we can make, no matter how dire the situation. So, what does this look like in practice? Think about your own life. Amidst the hustle and pressure to achieve, how often do you pause to appreciate what you already have? Maybe it's the support of loved ones, the opportunity to pursue your goals, or even the simple privilege of waking up healthy each day. Gratitude isn't just about big wins or grand gestures. It's about noticing the small, often overlooked blessings that enrich our lives. When we cultivate this habit, we not only enhance our well-being but also strengthen our ability to perform under pressure. Gratitude grounds us, reminding us of what truly matters and providing a steady foundation when the world feels uncertain. Here's a challenge for you. Take a moment to list 3 things you're grateful for today. They don't have to be monumental, just authentic. By doing this, you're not just practicing gratitude, you're training your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. Over time, this shift in perspective can transform how you approach challenges, setbacks, and even success. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a practice, a tool, and a way of seeing the world that can elevate every aspect of your life. Less clutter, more clarity. This simple mantra captures the essence of how minimalism and Stoicism intersect to create a life of focus and purpose. Stoicism has long championed the idea of stripping away the unnecessary, not just in our surroundings but in our minds and actions. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, put it plainly, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." This wisdom reminds us that true wealth isn't found in accumulation, but in the ability to recognize and prioritize what truly matters. In a world filled with endless distractions and demands, minimalism offers a practical way to apply Stoic principles. It's not about living with nothing, it's about living with intention. By removing the excess, whether it's physical possessions, unnecessary commitments, or mental noise, we create space for what truly adds value to our lives. Take the example of Steve Jobs, whose minimalist approach extended far beyond his iconic black turtleneck. Jobs famously kept his home sparse, free of clutter, and focused his energy on a few key priorities. This simplicity wasn't just an aesthetic choice, it was a deliberate strategy to maintain focus and creativity in his work. So, what does this mean for you? Where in your life could you benefit from simplifying? Maybe it's your schedule, packed with commitments that drain your energy without adding meaning. Or perhaps it's your environment, cluttered with items that no longer serve a purpose. The Stoic approach invites you to ask, what can I let go of to make room for what truly matters? This isn't about deprivation. It's about liberation, freeing yourself from the weight of excess so you can focus on what brings you joy, fulfillment, and progress. Here's a challenge. Identify one area of your life where you can embrace minimalism today. It could be as simple as clearing out a drawer, saying no to an obligation that doesn't align with your goals, or decluttering your digital space. Each small step toward simplicity is a step toward greater clarity and focus. When you remove the unnecessary, you create the mental and physical space needed to pursue what truly matters, aligning your life with the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. This might sound counterintuitive in a world that often treats setbacks as something to avoid or hide, but Stoicism offers a radically different perspective. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, Stoic philosophy teaches us to view it as feedback, a necessary step on the path to growth and mastery. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, put it this way: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, every failure holds a lesson, a chance to refine our approach and emerge stronger than before. Think about Thomas Edison, whose journey to inventing the light bulb is legendary not just for its success but for the thousands of failures that preceded it. When asked about his repeated attempts, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset, rooted in resilience and curiosity, is deeply Stoic. Edison didn't see failure as a reflection of his worth or ability. He saw it as a teacher. Each misstep brought him closer to the solution, not further away. His story reminds us that failure isn't something to fear, but something to embrace as part of the process. So, what does this mean for you? Reflect on a time when you faced a setback, whether it was a missed opportunity, a project that didn't go as planned, or a personal goal that felt out of reach. What did you learn from that experience? Often, the most valuable lessons come not from success, but from the moments when things didn't work out. Stoicism invites us to shift our focus from the outcome to the process, asking not, "Did I fail?" but "What can I learn from this?" The next time you encounter a setback, pause and ask yourself, "What is this failure trying to teach me? How can I use this experience to grow, adapt, and improve?" By reframing failure as feedback, you transform it from a source of frustration into a powerful tool for progress. This mindset doesn't just make you more resilient, it makes you unstoppable, turning every obstacle into an opportunity to rise higher than before. True greatness is rooted in humility. It's a paradox of elite performance. Those who achieve the most often remain the least attached to their achievements. Stoicism teaches that humility isn't about diminishing yourself or downplaying your abilities. It's about maintaining a clear, honest perspective on who you are and where you stand. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, put it succinctly, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This isn't a call to self-doubt, but an invitation to stay open, curious, and willing to learn. No matter how much you've accomplished, humility, in the Stoic sense, is the antidote to arrogance and complacency, the twin enemies of growth. Consider the example of Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft. Under his leadership, Microsoft transformed into one of the most innovative and valuable companies in the world. Yet, despite his immense success, Nadella is known for his humility and collaborative approach. He often credits his team, listens actively, and emphasizes the importance of learning from failures. This mindset hasn't just shaped his leadership style, it's driven Microsoft's resurgence as a global tech leader. Nadella's humility serves as a powerful reminder that even at the highest levels of achievement, staying grounded and open to feedback is what fuels continuous progress. So, what does humility look like in your own life? Think about the last time you achieved something significant, whether it was a promotion, a personal milestone, or even a small win at work. Did you pause to acknowledge the role of others, or did you focus solely on your own effort? Humility isn't just about giving credit, it's about recognizing that no matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. It's about embracing the idea that every success is a collective effort and every setback is an opportunity to grow. Here's a question to reflect on. Where in your life could a little more humility open doors to growth? Maybe it's in seeking feedback, collaborating more openly, or simply taking a moment to appreciate the contributions of those around you. By cultivating humility, you're not just becoming a better performer, you're becoming a better person, grounded in the wisdom that true greatness is a journey, not a destination. The pen is a mirror to the soul. For centuries, journaling has been one of the most powerful tools for self-reflection and growth, and it's a practice deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism isn't just about thinking deeply, it's about documenting those thoughts, examining them, and using them to guide your actions. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, once wrote, "I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." This daily practice of self-examination isn't just about reviewing what happened. It's about understanding why it happened and how you can improve moving forward. In a world filled with noise and distraction, journaling offers a rare moment of stillness, a chance to connect with your thoughts and align them with your values. Take, for example, the story of Ryan Holiday, a modern Stoic author and practitioner. Holiday credits his daily journaling habit as one of the key practices that has shaped his mindset and productivity. Each morning, he spends time reflecting on his goals, challenges, and the lessons he's learned. This isn't just a ritual for him, it's a way to stay grounded, focused, and intentional in a fast-paced world. Holiday's approach mirrors the Stoic tradition of using journaling not just as a record of events, but as a tool for self-mastery. By putting his thoughts on paper, he creates clarity and accountability, turning reflection into action. So, how can you bring this practice into your own life? Try this. For the next week, set aside 10 minutes each day to write. It doesn't have to be elaborate or poetic, just honest. Reflect on what went well, what didn't, and what you can learn from both. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? What challenged me, and how can I respond better tomorrow? Over time, you'll start to notice patterns, habits that serve you and those that don't, moments where you reacted impulsively, and opportunities where you could have acted with more intention. Journaling isn't just about recording your life, it's about shaping it. As you put pen to paper, remember this: the act of journaling is more than self-reflection, it's self-conversation. It's a way to step back, gain perspective, and ensure that your actions align with your values. In a world that rarely pauses, this simple practice can be your anchor, grounding you in purpose and clarity. So grab a notebook, find a quiet moment, and start writing. Your soul and your future self will thank you. Time is the one resource we can't replenish. Unlike money, relationships, or even energy, once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. This truth lies at the heart of the Stoic approach to time management, a philosophy that doesn't just teach us to work efficiently, but to live intentionally. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once reflected, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It's a stark reminder that our time is finite, and how we choose to spend it defines the quality of our lives. For elite performers, this isn't just about productivity, it's about purpose. Every minute is an opportunity to align our actions with what truly matters. Consider the disciplined approach of Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history. Despite his immense wealth and influence, Buffett is famously selective about how he spends his time. He doesn't fill his days with endless meetings or trivial tasks. Instead, he focuses on what he calls his circle of competence activities that align with his strengths and long-term goals. This isn't just a business strategy, it's a Stoic principle in action. By prioritizing what's essential and letting go of distractions, Buffett maximizes not just his productivity but his impact. His example shows us that time management isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. So, how does this apply to your life? Take a moment to reflect on your own daily routine. Are you spending your time on activities that align with your values and goals, or are you caught in a cycle of busyness that leaves you feeling drained and unfulfilled? The Stoic approach invites you to evaluate your priorities, not just in terms of tasks but in terms of meaning. What are the things that truly deserve your attention, and what are the distractions that pull you away from them? Here's a challenge for you. Tonight, before you go to bed, take 5 minutes to review your day. Ask yourself, did I spend my time today on what truly matters? If not, what can I do differently tomorrow? By bringing this level of intentionality to your time, you're not just managing it, you're mastering it. This shift in mindset transforms time from a fleeting resource into a powerful tool for creating the life you want to live. Every moment is a choice, and every choice shapes your future. How will you use yours? Courage is not the absence of fear, it's action despite it. This may sound counterintuitive, especially in a world that often equates bravery with fearlessness. But Stoicism offers a different perspective. Courage isn't about eliminating fear, it's about moving forward in spite of it. For elite performers, this distinction is crucial. Whether you're stepping onto a stage, launching a new venture, or facing a personal challenge, courage is what allows you to take that first step, even when every instinct tells you to retreat. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, captured this idea perfectly when he said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." In other words, courage isn't reserved for grand, heroic moments. It's a daily practice, a choice to act with integrity and purpose, no matter how daunting the circumstances. Consider the story of Harriet Tubman, the legendary abolitionist who risked her life repeatedly to lead enslaved people to freedom through the Underground Railroad. Tubman didn't lack fear, she faced it head-on time and time again. Her courage wasn't about being unafraid, it was about prioritizing freedom and justice over her own safety. She once said, "I had reasoned this out in my mind. There was one of two things: I had a right to liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other. Tubman's story is a powerful testament to the Stoic virtue of courage, the willingness to endure fear and adversity for a greater purpose. So, what does this mean for you? Think about a situation in your own life where fear is holding you back. Maybe it's a career move that feels risky, a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, or a personal goal that seems out of reach. What would it look like to act with courage in that moment? The Stoic approach reminds us that courage isn't about waiting for fear to disappear. It's about taking action even when fear is present. Ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today to move forward despite my fear? By embracing courage in this way, you're not just overcoming obstacles, you're building the resilience and confidence needed to thrive in any situation. Courage, in the Stoic sense, is a muscle, one that grows stronger with every challenge you face. Each time you choose to act with bravery, even in the face of uncertainty, you're not just moving closer to your goals, you're redefining what's possible. So the next time fear whispers in your ear, remember, courage isn't about silencing it, it's about stepping forward anyway. Strength is forged through restraint. This might seem like a paradox in a world that often equates success with indulgence, but Stoicism teaches us that true power comes from the ability to say no to our desires, our comforts, and even our impulses. The Stoic practice of self-denial isn't about punishing yourself or living a life of deprivation. Instead, it's about intentionally choosing discomfort to build mental toughness and resilience. As Epictetus wisely noted, no man is free who is not master of himself. By practicing self-denial, we train ourselves to endure hardship, resist temptation, and remain steadfast in the face of challenges. Imagine the discipline it takes to resist the immediate gratification of a warm bed on a cold morning, choosing instead to rise early and face the day head-on. This simple act of self-denial, repeated consistently, strengthens your willpower and prepares you for greater challenges. It's not about the act itself, but what it represents, your ability to prioritize long-term growth over short-term comfort. This is the essence of Stoic self-denial, a deliberate choice to embrace discomfort in order to cultivate inner strength. Take David Goggins, a former Navy SEAL and ultra-endurance athlete, as a modern example. Goggins is known for pushing his body and mind to extreme limits, often through acts of self-denial like fasting, cold exposure, or grueling physical challenges. These practices aren't just about physical endurance, they're about building the mental fortitude to overcome any obstacle. Goggins' approach mirrors the Stoic belief that discomfort, when embraced voluntarily, becomes a teacher, one that prepares us for the inevitable hardships of life. So, what does this look like in your own life? Start small. Choose one area where you can practice self-denial, even in a minor way. Maybe it's skipping dessert, turning off your phone for an hour, or taking a cold shower. Notice how it feels to resist the urge for immediate comfort. What emotions arise? How does your mind respond? Over time, these small acts of restraint will strengthen your ability to stay focused, disciplined, and resilient, even when the stakes are high. Here's a challenge for you this week. Pick one small act of self-denial and commit to it. Observe how it affects your mindset and your sense of control. Remember, the goal isn't to make life harder, it's to make yourself stronger. By embracing the Stoic practice of self-denial, you're not just building mental toughness, you're reclaiming your power to choose how you respond to life's challenges, one act of restraint at a time. Success is not what you have, but who you become. At its core, Stoicism challenges the modern obsession with external markers of achievement, wealth, status, or recognition, and redirects our focus inward. True success, according to Stoic philosophy, is measured not by what we accumulate, but by the character we cultivate. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, encapsulated this idea beautifully when he wrote, the wealth of a man is not in his purse but in his soul. This perspective invites us to reconsider what it means to live a successful life, shifting our attention from fleeting accomplishments to lasting growth. Take the story of Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, as an example. Despite enduring unimaginable suffering, Frankl emerged with a profound sense of purpose and inner strength. His success wasn't defined by material wealth or societal accolades. It was rooted in his ability to find meaning in the midst of despair. Frankl's journey illustrates the Stoic truth that success is not about external validation, but about the resilience, wisdom, and integrity we develop along the way. His life became a testament to the power of internal growth, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. So, what does this mean for you? How do you define success in your own life? Is it tied to promotions, possessions, or public recognition? Or is it something deeper? Something that can't be taken away, no matter the circumstances? The Stoic approach invites you to reflect on your values and priorities. Are you striving for things that will leave you fulfilled? Or are you chasing goals that might leave you feeling empty once achieved? Success, in the Stoic sense, is about aligning your actions with your highest principles, becoming the kind of person who can face life's challenges with clarity, courage, and compassion. Here's a question to ponder. Who do you want to become? Not what you want to achieve, but who you want to be. By focusing on internal growth, you create a foundation for success that no external circumstance can shake. This shift in perspective doesn't diminish ambition, it deepens it, transforming the pursuit of success into a journey of self-mastery and purpose. When you measure success by the person you're becoming, every challenge becomes an opportunity, and every moment becomes a chance to grow. Relationships thrive on understanding and patience. In every interaction, whether it's with a colleague, a loved one, or even a stranger, there's an opportunity to practice the Stoic virtues of empathy and emotional control. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control how others behave, we can always control how we respond. As Seneca once said, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. This insight is particularly powerful in relationships, where miscommunication and conflict often stem not from the situation itself, but from how we interpret and react to it. Consider the example of a leader who transformed a struggling team by applying Stoic principles. Faced with constant tension and low morale, this leader chose to focus not on blaming individuals, but on fostering understanding and patience. Instead of reacting to every complaint or mistake with frustration, they paused, reflected, and responded with calm and clarity. Over time, this approach created an environment where team members felt heard and valued, leading to improved collaboration and productivity. The leader's ability to remain composed and empathetic, even in challenging moments, exemplifies the Stoic ideal of mastering one's emotions to create harmony. So, how can you bring this Stoic mindset into your own relationships? Start by asking yourself, when conflicts arise, do I react impulsively or do I take a moment to reflect? Stoicism invites us to pause before responding, to consider the other person's perspective, and to choose our words and actions with care. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means channeling them in a way that fosters connection rather than division. By practicing empathy and emotional control, you create space for understanding and growth, even in the most difficult interactions. Here's a thought to carry with you. Every relationship is a mirror, reflecting not just the other person, but also your own ability to respond with patience and wisdom. The next time you're faced with a challenging interaction, ask yourself, how can I approach this with understanding rather than judgment? How can I turn this moment into an opportunity to strengthen rather than strain the relationship? By embracing the Stoic approach to relationships, you're not just improving how you connect with others, you're cultivating a deeper sense of peace and purpose within yourself. Remembering death sharpens life. This is the essence of Memento Mori, the Stoic practice of reflecting on our mortality. At first glance, it might seem morbid, even unsettling. But for the Stoics, this practice wasn't about fear or despair. It was about clarity and focus. By keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we're reminded of life's brevity and the urgency to live with intention. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, often reflected on this idea, writing, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." These words aren't meant to provoke anxiety. They're a call to action, urging us to make the most of the time we have. Consider the example of Steve Jobs, whose famous Stanford commencement speech echoed this Stoic principle. Jobs spoke openly about how being diagnosed with cancer forced him to confront his mortality. That awareness, he said, became a most important tool for making decisions. It stripped away the trivial and allowed him to focus on what truly mattered: creating, innovating, and leaving a legacy. Jobs' experience illustrates the transformative power of Memento Mori. When we remember that our time is limited, we're less likely to waste it on distractions and more likely to pursue what aligns with our deepest values. So, what does this mean for you? Imagine for a moment that your time were finite, which of course it is. How would your priorities shift? Would you spend less time scrolling through social media and more time nurturing relationships, pursuing passions, or contributing to something meaningful? The Stoic practice of Memento Mori isn't about living in fear of death. It's about using that awareness to live more fully. It's a reminder to stop postponing the life you want to live and start taking steps toward it today. Here's a question to reflect on. If you knew your time were limited, what would you do differently? What would you stop doing, and what would you start? By embracing this Stoic practice, you're not just confronting mortality, you're reclaiming your life, one intentional moment at a time. True power lies in fairness and integrity. In the Stoic tradition, justice isn't just a societal ideal, it's a personal virtue that defines how we interact with others and navigate the world. For elite performers, justice is more than a moral compass, it's a cornerstone of leadership and influence. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "What is the fruit of these teachings? Only the most beautiful and proper harvest, tranquility, fearlessness, and freedom." Justice, as he saw it, wasn't about external rewards or recognition. It was about aligning our actions with what is right, even when no one is watching. This internal commitment to fairness and integrity is what sets exceptional leaders apart. Take the story of Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks, as an example. Under his leadership, Starbucks became one of the first major companies to offer comprehensive healthcare benefits and stock options to all employees, including part-time workers. At the time, this decision was met with skepticism and resistance, but Schultz believed it was the right thing to do. His commitment to justice, treating employees with fairness and dignity, not only transformed the company's culture, but also set a new standard for corporate responsibility. Schultz's leadership exemplifies the Stoic virtue of justice in action, prioritizing the well-being of others, even when it comes at a personal or financial cost. So, what does justice look like in your own life? Think about the decisions you make, both big and small. Are you guided by what's easy or what's right? The Stoic approach invites us to reflect on how we can act with fairness and integrity, even in situations where it might be tempting to take the easier path. Whether it's standing up for a colleague, advocating for a cause, or simply treating others with respect, every act of justice shapes not only the world around us but also the person we become. Here's a question to consider. Where in your life can you prioritize justice over convenience? How can you align your actions with your deepest values, even when it requires courage or sacrifice? By embracing the Stoic virtue of justice, you're not just contributing to a fairer world, you're cultivating a sense of purpose and authenticity that elevates every aspect of your life. True power, after all, isn't about control or dominance, it's about doing what's right, even when it's hard. Criticism is a mirror, not a weapon. It reflects not just where we are, but where we can go. In the Stoic tradition, criticism isn't something to fear or avoid, it's a tool for growth, a chance to see ourselves more clearly and refine our actions. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, captured this idea perfectly when he said, "The wise man is neither raised up by praise nor cast down by blame." This isn't about ignoring feedback or pretending it doesn't sting. It's about rising above the emotional reaction and asking, what can I learn from this? Take the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her books became a global phenomenon, Rowling faced countless rejections from publishers. One even told her to get a day job because she'd never make money writing children's books. Instead of letting that criticism crush her, she used it as fuel. Rowling didn't see those rejections as a judgment of her worth. She saw them as feedback to improve her craft and persistence. Her ability to embrace criticism rather than resist it played a key role in her eventual success. Her story is a powerful reminder that criticism, when approached with the right mindset, can be a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. So, how does the Stoic approach apply to your life? Think about the last time someone criticized you, whether it was a boss, a colleague, or even a friend. Did you react defensively, or did you pause and consider what truth might be in their words? Stoicism invites us to detach from the emotional sting of criticism and focus on the opportunity it presents. Instead of asking, why are they attacking me? Try asking, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective doesn't just reduce frustration, it opens the door to growth. Here's a challenge for you. The next time you receive criticism, take a moment to reflect. Is there a kernel of truth in what's being said? How can you use this feedback to become better at what you do? By viewing criticism as a mirror rather than a weapon, you transform it from a source of discomfort into a powerful tool for self-improvement. And in doing so, you're not just handling criticism, you're mastering it, one thoughtful response at a time. See it to achieve it. This simple yet powerful idea lies at the heart of the Stoic practice of visualization, a tool that elite performers have used for centuries to prepare for success. Known as Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils, this technique involves mentally rehearsing potential challenges and setbacks before they happen. It's not about dwelling on the negative, it's about preparing for the worst so you can perform at your best. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, captured this perfectly when he wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Then think of the tasks ahead and the obstacles you might face." This mental rehearsal isn't just about anticipation. It's about equipping yourself with the clarity and resilience to handle whatever comes your way. Take the example of Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time. Phelps famously used visualization as part of his training regimen. Before every race, he would close his eyes and imagine not just the perfect swim, but also the things that could go wrong: a missed stroke, a faulty start, or even a broken goggle strap. By visualizing these scenarios, Phelps wasn't just preparing for success, he was preparing for adversity. This mental practice allowed him to stay calm and focused, even when faced with unexpected challenges. His ability to perform under pressure wasn't just physical, it was rooted in the Stoic principle of mental preparation. So, how can you bring this practice into your own life? Think about a challenge you're facing, whether it's a high-stakes presentation, a difficult conversation, or a personal goal that feels out of reach. What if, instead of fearing the unknown, you took a few minutes to visualize the situation in detail? Picture the obstacles you might encounter and how you'd respond to them. Imagine yourself staying calm, focused, and resilient no matter what happens. This exercise isn't about creating stress, it's about building confidence. By mentally rehearsing the challenges ahead, you're not just preparing for success, you're cultivating the mindset needed to thrive in any situation. Here's a challenge for you. Before your next big moment, take 5 minutes to close your eyes and visualize the scene. What does success look like? What challenges might arise? And how will you respond when they do? By practicing this Stoic technique, you're not just preparing for the future, you're shaping it, one mental rehearsal at a time. True power lies in balance. This is the essence of temperance, one of the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism. While ambition drives us to achieve and excel, temperance teaches us to temper that drive with restraint, not to limit our potential but to sustain it. It's about finding the middle ground between excess and deprivation, between pushing too hard and not pushing at all. Seneca, the great Stoic thinker, put it beautifully when he said, "Moderation is the key to lasting enjoyment." In other words, temperance isn't about denying yourself success, it's about ensuring that your pursuit of success doesn't come at the cost of your well-being or integrity. Consider the story of Arianna Huffington, the co-founder of the Huffington Post. Early in her career, Huffington was the epitome of relentless ambition, working around the clock to build her media empire. But this all-or-nothing approach eventually took its toll. After collapsing from exhaustion, she realized that her success was unsustainable without balance. She began to prioritize sleep, mindfulness, and self-care, not as luxuries but as necessities. This shift didn't just improve her health, it deepened her creativity and leadership. Huffington's journey is a modern-day example of temperance in action, balancing ambition with self-awareness to achieve sustainable success. So, what does temperance look like in your own life? Think about the areas where you might be leaning too far in one direction. Are you working so hard that you're neglecting your health or relationships? Or maybe you're holding back out of fear of failure, avoiding risks that could lead to growth. Temperance invites us to step back and ask, how can I pursue my goals in a way that nourishes rather than depletes me? This isn't about slowing down, it's about pacing yourself so you can go the distance. Here's a question to reflect on. Where in your life do you need more balance? Is it in your work habits, your personal relationships, or even your approach to leisure? By embracing the Stoic virtue of temperance, you're not just achieving success, you're creating a life that's as fulfilling as it is impactful. Balance, after all, isn't a destination, it's a practice, one that allows you to thrive in every area of your life. Decisions shape destiny. Every choice you make, no matter how small, ripples out to shape your life and the lives of those around you. This is why the Stoics placed such importance on decision-making, not as a mundane task, but as a profound opportunity to align your actions with your deepest values. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, clarity in decision-making begins with clarity in purpose. When you know who you want to be and what you stand for, the path forward becomes far clearer, even in the most uncertain moments. Think about the leadership style of Angela Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany. Known for her calm, methodical approach to decision-making, Merkel often took time to weigh her options carefully, even in high-pressure situations. Her ability to stay grounded in her values, prudence, stability, and long-term thinking allowed her to navigate crises with remarkable clarity and resilience. Whether it was managing the European debt crisis or addressing global challenges, Merkel's decisions were never impulsive. They were rooted in a deep sense of purpose and alignment with her principles. Her example illustrates the Stoic ideal of thoughtful, values-driven decision-making in action. So how can you bring this Stoic approach into your own life? Start by reflecting on a recent decision you've made. Was it driven by impulse, external pressure, or a clear sense of what matters most to you? The Stoic practice of aligning decisions with values isn't about perfection, it's about intention. It's about pausing long enough to ask yourself, does this choice reflect who I am and who I want to become? By creating this mental checkpoint, you're not just making decisions, you're shaping your destiny, one thoughtful choice at a time. Here's a challenge for you. The next time you're faced with a decision, big or small, take a moment to connect it to your values. What's most important to you in this situation? How can your choice move you closer to the person you aspire to be? By approaching decision-making with this level of intentionality, you're not just navigating life, you're mastering it, one aligned decision at a time. In silence, we find our strength. It's in the quiet moments, away from the noise and distractions, that we can truly hear ourselves think. For the Stoics, silence wasn't just the absence of sound. It was a deliberate practice, a way to cultivate focus, clarity, and inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This idea reminds us that silence isn't just external. It's an internal refuge, a space where we can reconnect with our thoughts and values, free from the chaos of the world. Take the story of Bill Gates, who famously takes a week-long retreat each year, often referred to as his Think Week. During this time, Gates isolates himself from the outside world, spending hours in silence, reading, reflecting, and strategizing. It's in these moments of stillness that some of his most groundbreaking ideas have taken shape. Gates' practice isn't just about productivity, it's about creating the mental space needed to think deeply and clearly. His story illustrates the transformative power of silence, a tool that allows us to step back, recharge, and refocus on what truly matters. So, what does this mean for you? In a world that's constantly buzzing with notifications, deadlines, and demands, how often do you allow yourself the gift of silence? The Stoic practice of quiet reflection isn't about shutting out the world entirely. It's about carving out moments of stillness to reconnect with your inner self. Whether it's 5 minutes in the morning before the day begins or a quiet walk in nature, these moments of silence can help you regain clarity and perspective. Here's a challenge for you today. Set aside just 5 minutes to sit in silence. No phone, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. Notice how it feels to step away from the noise. What thoughts arise? What insights come to the surface? By making silence a regular practice, you're not just giving yourself a break, you're creating the mental space needed to think more clearly, act more intentionally, and live more fully. Silence, after all, isn't empty, it's full of answers, if only we take the time to listen. Wisdom is the compass of the wise. It's the guiding light that helps us navigate life's complexities, make better decisions, and align our actions with what truly matters. For the Stoics, wisdom wasn't just about accumulating knowledge. It was about understanding how to apply that knowledge in ways that lead to a virtuous and fulfilling life. Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, captured this idea perfectly when he said, "The wise man is neither raised up by praise nor cast down by blame." In other words, wisdom isn't just about what we know. It's about how we use that knowledge to stay grounded, focused, and true to our principles, no matter the circumstances. Consider Benjamin Franklin, a man whose life was deeply influenced by Stoic principles. Franklin wasn't just a brilliant inventor and statesman. He was a lifelong learner who valued wisdom above all else. He famously kept a journal where he tracked his progress in cultivating virtues like temperance, humility, and wisdom. Franklin understood that true wisdom wasn't about being the smartest person in the room. It was about making thoughtful, principled decisions that benefited not just himself but also the world around him. His approach to life serves as a powerful reminder that wisdom isn't a destination. It's a journey, one that requires constant reflection and growth. So, how can we apply this pursuit of wisdom in our own lives? Think about the decisions you've made recently. Were they driven by impulse, fear, or external pressure, or were they rooted in careful thought and a deeper understanding of what truly matters? The Stoic approach invites us to pause and reflect before acting, to consider not just the immediate consequences of our choices, but their long-term impact. Wisdom, after all, isn't just about knowing what to do, it's about knowing why we do it. Here's a question to reflect on. Where in your life could you benefit from a little more wisdom? Is it in your career, your relationships, or even your personal goals? By seeking wisdom through reading, reflection, or even conversations with others, you're not just making better decisions, you're building a life of purpose and integrity. Wisdom isn't just a virtue, it's a practice, one that transforms not just what we achieve, but who we become in the process. Legacy is built in the present. This simple truth lies at the heart of the Stoic approach to leaving a lasting impact. Stoicism teaches us that legacy isn't something we leave behind. It's something we create every single day through our actions, choices, and character. As Marcus Aurelius once reflected, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. In other words, the life we live today shapes the legacy we leave tomorrow. It's not about grand gestures or posthumous recognition. It's about the small, consistent acts of integrity, kindness, and purpose that ripple out to touch the lives of others. Consider the story of Frederick Douglass, the former enslaved person who became one of the most influential abolitionists and orators in American history. Douglass didn't wait for his legacy to be written by others, he lived it. Through his tireless advocacy, powerful writings, and unyielding commitment to justice, he left an indelible mark on the world. But what's often overlooked is how Douglass's daily actions, his courage to speak truth, his resilience in the face of adversity, and his unwavering moral compass were the building blocks of his enduring legacy. His life is a testament to the Stoic idea that the present moment is where legacy begins. So, what does this mean for you? Think about the actions you take today, not as isolated moments, but as the foundation of your legacy. Are they aligned with the values you want to be remembered for? The Stoic approach invites us to shift our focus from worrying about how we'll be remembered to living in a way that ensures we'll be remembered well. It's not about controlling the narrative of your legacy. It's about living a life so authentic and impactful that the narrative writes itself. Here's a question to reflect on. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Not in terms of titles or achievements, but in terms of the impact you have on others and the world around you. By embracing the Stoic principle of focusing on the present, you're not just shaping your legacy, you're ensuring that it's one of purpose, integrity, and meaning. After all, the best way to leave a lasting impact is to live a life worth remembering. Acceptance is the key to peace. It's a simple idea, but one that holds immense power, especially in a world that often feels out of our control. For the Stoics, acceptance wasn't about passive resignation or giving up. It was about recognizing the limits of our influence and redirecting our energy toward what we can change. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, put it this way: make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This mindset shifts the focus from frustration over what we can't control to clarity and action around what we can. Acceptance, in the Stoic sense, isn't surrender, it's liberation. Take the story of Amanda, a corporate executive who struggled with the constant pressure to meet unrealistic expectations. No matter how hard she worked, there were always factors beyond her control: market fluctuations, office politics, even global events that disrupted her plans. For years, she fought against these realities, trying to force outcomes that simply weren't hers to command. It wasn't until she discovered Stoicism that she began to practice acceptance. Instead of resisting what she couldn't change, she focused on her own effort, attitude, and adaptability. This shift didn't just reduce her stress, it transformed her effectiveness as a leader. By accepting the uncontrollable, Amanda found freedom to thrive within the boundaries she could influence. So, what does this mean for you? Where in your life are you resisting something you can't change? Is it a situation at work, a relationship, or even a personal goal that feels out of reach? The Stoic practice of acceptance invites you to pause and ask, what's within my control here and what isn't? By letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable, you create space for peace, clarity, and progress. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or avoiding action. It means approaching them with a mindset that prioritizes what truly matters. Here's a challenge for you. Think of one area in your life where you're struggling with resistance. What would it look like to approach it with acceptance instead? How might that shift change your perspective and your experience? By embracing the Stoic practice of acceptance, you're not just releasing frustration, you're reclaiming your power to focus on what truly matters, one moment at a time. Integrity is the foundation of trust. Without it, even the most impressive achievements lose their meaning. For Stoics, integrity isn't just a moral ideal, it's a daily practice, a commitment to aligning your actions with your deepest values. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most profound thinkers, captured this idea perfectly when he said, "If you wish to be loved, love. If you wish to be trusted, be trustworthy." These words remind us that integrity isn't something we earn. It's something we embody through consistent, principled action. It's the glue that binds our words to our deeds and our character to our reputation. Take the example of Abraham Lincoln, a leader whose integrity became the cornerstone of his legacy. Known as Honest Abe, Lincoln didn't just talk about honesty, he lived it, even when it came at great personal cost. Whether it was standing firm against the expansion of slavery or maintaining transparency in his political dealings, Lincoln's unwavering commitment to his principles earned him the trust and respect of a nation. His leadership wasn't defined by charisma or cunning. It was built on the bedrock of integrity. Lincoln's story illustrates how this Stoic virtue isn't just admirable, it's transformative, shaping not only the individual but also the world around them. So, what does integrity look like in your own life? Think about the choices you make, both big and small. Are they guided by what's convenient or by what's right? The Stoic approach invites us to pause and reflect on the alignment between our actions and our values. It's not about perfection, but about intention, about striving to live authentically, even when no one is watching. Integrity, after all, isn't just about how we treat others, it's about how we treat ourselves. It's the quiet promise we make to live in a way that honors who we are and what we stand for. Here's a question to reflect on. How do you demonstrate integrity in your daily life? Are there areas where you could strengthen the connection between your values and your actions? By embracing the Stoic virtue of integrity, you're not just building trust with others, you're cultivating a sense of inner harmony and purpose. In a world that often rewards shortcuts, integrity is the quiet strength that sets elite performers apart, one honest choice at a time. As we bring this journey to a close, let's take a moment to revisit the core Stoic principles that can transform not just how you perform, but how you live. At the heart of Stoicism is the understanding that while we can't control external events, we have complete authority over our thoughts, reactions, and actions. This isn't just a philosophical idea, it's a practical framework for elite performance. Whether it's embracing amor fati to turn obstacles into opportunities, practicing cognitive detachment to stay calm under pressure, or cultivating discipline to bridge the gap between goals and achievements, these timeless tools empower us to rise above challenges and thrive in any environment. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic thinkers, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." These words are a powerful reminder that self-mastery is the foundation of true success. It's not about controlling the world around us, but about mastering the world within us. When we focus on what's within our control, our effort, our mindset, our response to adversity, we unlock a level of resilience and clarity that sets us apart. This is the essence of the assertive Stoic mindset, a way of thinking and living that elevates not just our existence but our impact on the world. Now it's your turn. How will you apply these principles in your own life? Whether you're navigating a high-stakes career, building a business, or simply striving to live with greater purpose, the Stoic tools we've explored today can guide you. Start small. Reflect on one area where you can practice acceptance, focus on what's within your control, or embrace a challenge as an opportunity for growth. And as you do, share your experiences in the comments below. Your journey could inspire others to take their first steps toward a more intentional, resilient way of living. If you found value in this exploration of Stoicism and elite performance, don't forget to subscribe for more insights and practical tools to elevate your existence. Together, let's continue to learn, grow, and thrive one Stoic principle at a time. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and remember, the power to transform your life lies within you. Use it wisely.